So apparently now, March is Women's History Month. I don't remember this being a thing before. Personally, I don't think that we need a specific month to celebrate women's history. I think you should just learn it and just not call it women's history, just call it history. When I was brainstorming ideas of what I could do for a video to celebrate Women's History Month, I decided I wanted to talk about women in literature. And as I was making a list, I realized that a lot of the women were in Harry Potter. So the first awesome woman in Harry Potter that I'm going to talk about is probably the most obvious. She's Hermione Jean Granger. The most obvious awesome thing about her is that she's smart. And what I love about her is that she's very unapologetically intelligent. She loves reading and she loves learning, and she's not sorry about it. She's not going to pretend like, ooh, learning isn't cool. She's like, no, I love learning. I love reading. Homegirl literally time traveled so that she could learn more. That's how much she loved it. And she didn't care how much work it was. It also goes to show how much work ethic she has, especially in her third year when she was taking double the course load as everybody else, and Harry and Ron were looking at her like she was insane. And she did it! And something that a lot of people forget is that she was also an activist. This was something that was excluded from the movies because arguably it's not that exciting of a plot line. She starts the Society for the Promotion of Elfish Welfare, or SPEW. Oh, I'm sorry. S-P-E-W. House elves are not treated the way that they should be treated, and that they're treated really, very poorly, and they have poor working conditions, and they don't get paid, and it's really crappy. And so she tries to gather up all these forces and help them. And then that comes back in the 7th book when all of the house elves rally around Hogwarts, and they help fight in the Great Battle of Hogwarts. And the last thing about Hermione that makes her so great is that she is, honest to God, the backbone of that golden trio. Harry and Ron would literally be dead without her. By the end of Sorcerer's Stone, they would have been killed by Devil's Snare if she hadn't remembered that Devil's Snare hates the sunlight. The next amazing woman in the Harry Potter series is Molly Weasley. Just amazing, all-around, lovable, wonderful woman that I think we all wish that she was our mother, and that you could come home and she would like just give you food and it would just be amazing. And what I really love about the way that J.K. Rowling wrote her character is that she's not only, yes, she's a mother, she's a mother figure, she's loving, she's caring, she's nurturing, but she's also very fierce and she's protective, and she is an A+ fighter. She was at the Battle of Hogwarts, she was in the Order of Phoenix back in the early days of Voldemort, fighting all those people. And I love that J.K. Rowling kind of was able to give her both of those qualities. Bellatrix is Voldemort's right-hand woman, and Voldemort wouldn't make his right-hand woman a not powerful wizard. So the fact that Molly Weasley comes in out of nowhere and is able to fight Bellatrix for a while and then finally kill her with that iconic line, that says a lot about her magical abilities and her fighting abilities. And so I love that J.K. Rowling was able to show that you can be loving, but also like that can help fuel your fight, and I just love that about Molly Weasley. Not to go off on another tangent, but an argument I see a lot when women are against feminism is they'll say, I would rather raise a family than a protest sign. And Molly Weasley is proof that you can do both. Molly Weasley was a very nurturing character. She raised 7 children. So the fact that this family, for the most part, was kept intact during very uneasy, very trying times in the wizarding world, and on the other side of that, she was still in the resistance effort against this bad power. She's proof that you can, in fact, raise a family and be a very kind, nurturing person, and also still be fighting the good fight and fighting for the good in the world. So the next amazing woman in the Harry Potter series is Luna Lovegood. She's one of my favorite characters in the whole series. Luna knows that she's weird, and she knows that she's different, and she doesn't care. She's very carefree and whimsical and imaginative and very loving and lighthearted and optimistic, and doesn't care that people make fun of her. I think a lot of people think that she's stupid or that she's oblivious to the way that all of the other people in the school view her. She knows that people call her Loony Lovegood, and she knows that people play pranks on her and stuff, and doesn't really seem to mind. I think she she seems to understand that there's a lot bigger things going on, and that there's a lot more important things to care about at that time than fitting in. What I like about the way that J.K. Rowling wrote Luna and the way that the other characters react to her, once she gets connected with the main characters, they kind of just let her be herself. They really are her true friends. They don't try and change her. They don't try to say, hey Luna, maybe you shouldn't wear that, or maybe you shouldn't talk about nargles or anything. They're just kind of like, oh yeah, nargles. Yeah, I hope there is pudding too. I, of course, could not make a video about women in Harry Potter without talking about the GOAT, the greatest of all time, Minerva McGonagall. She is a boss-ass witch. She's also better than Dumbledore. Dumbledore is so cryptic. So something specific to point out about her. So she's obviously in the Order of the Phoenix. She's leading all these students. There's that great scene in Order of the Phoenix when Harry gets sent to her office and he's like, yeah, I said this and did this. And she's like, have a biscuit, Mr. Potter. And just gives him a cookie and is like, you gotta shut your mouth, okay? We know she's crazy, but you gotta play along and just shut up. And then also at the end of the book, she gets hit with like 5 knockout spells at once, which should kill a person. And we know that she goes on to become the headmistress because in Cursed Child, there's the headmistress when Albus is at school. She's great, okay? And last but not least, this one's controversial. Ginny Weasley. Book Ginny is the only Ginny that exists, okay? Let's throw the movie Ginny out. Movie Ginny does not exist. They made her have the personality of a wet blanket in the movies, and I hate how they cut out so much of her characterization from the books. She is so fierce and funny and witty. She's a really good witch. Fred and George talk about how you don't want to be on the receiving end of one of her bat bogey hexes. When she was little, she would sneak into their broom closet at home and steal one of Fred and George's brooms and fly around. There's just so much more to her in the books than there ever was in the movies, and I hate that. And I know that doesn't even begin to skim the surface of awesome female characters in Harry Potter. There's a lot more I could talk about, but we would be here for 12 years.
12 years of it! In Azkaban!
I also wrote a blog post about cool women in history because it is Women's History Month, not just Women's Harry Potter Month. So I'll leave a link to that below in the description if you want to read it. When I was doing research about other women for that article, I came across this one woman named Annie Londonderry, who was this famous cyclist in like the 1890s, and she was the first woman to bicycle around the world basically, and the reason she did it is because 2 men bet her that she couldn't. And I was like, I mean, I get it, I understand.